I told you that this criminal piece of shit is panicked, that he is scared to death about this Epstein stuff. And now I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna show you a clip in a minute that proves everything that I've been telling you, everything that we've all been speculating, that Donald Trump is panicked. He does not want those files to come out. And the reason is because he's in those files. Now, this is a clip of Trump, and many of you have probably seen it already. And it is so good, I'm sure you won't mind seeing it again. And for those of you who don't like it when I play clips of this guy, I get it. And I try not to play too many clips of him. But this one is definitely worth playing. He proves it. He's scared to death, and he is in those files. Watch this.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release, yeah.
What more do you need? It could not be any more clear that Donald Trump is in those Epstein files if he came out and admitted it. I mean, this is as clear as it gets. He's in those files. This man is dirty. This man is a criminal. This man is a sexual predator. He has already been found liable for sexually abusing a woman. By the way, that case was recently upheld on appeal. You know, he lost to E. Jean Carroll, the woman he sexually abused. The appeals court ruled in her favor. So this man has been found to be a sexual predator by a jury. We've heard the disgusting things that he has said about underage girls. Things he said about his own daughter. This man is sick. He's a predator. And you know damn well he is in those files. That is why he is panicking. And what's really got him scared to death is that he has lost, at least on this issue, lost the ability to control the narrative with his cult. They are not falling in line. He has tried everything. He has thrown so much crap up against the wall to take people's focus off of Epstein and to move it on to something else. Anything. I mean, for God's sakes. He's bringing up Rosie O'Donnell again. Threatening, you saw, threatening to take away her citizenship. How pathetic is that? Now he's putting out a post threatening to prosecute Adam Schiff. I mean, anything. He is just desperate for something to take the focus off of Epstein. And you saw that panicked, unhinged post over the weekend on Truth Social, where he's talking about what's going on with my boys and my gals. Stop talking about Epstein. Talk about something else. Hunter Biden. Talk about Hunter Biden. He is scared to death. The cult is not going along, and that is the most serious threat to him. This is the first time in 10 years that anything has come between him and his cult that caused them at all to question him. And many of them are calling him out. Many of them said, that's it. I'm not supporting you anymore. This is it. I mean, we still got a long way to go, but people are beginning to question him. This is a big damn deal, and we better not let up. This is our first opportunity to get people in the cult to wake the hell up. And this was so freaking stupid. But see, Donald Trump, he was so desperate to win re-election and stay out of prison that he was promising everyone everything. What do you want? I'll give it to you. What do you want? I'll give it to you. And he gave the conspiracy theorists, the Epstein people, the Pizzagate people, all these people, he told them what they wanted to hear. He strung them along. Vote for me and I'm going to expose the deep state. I'll expose this pedophile ring. I'll release the Epstein files. And it wasn't just him. It was all of his people. In fact, when it came to Epstein, he said he'd release him, but it was clear he didn't want to get too close to the Epstein thing because he knows there is no chance I'm ever releasing that stuff. But this can of worms is open, and there's no way that he is going to be able to put a lid on this if we keep it up, if we keep up the pressure. Now, here's the thing. I believe that this issue could potentially bring this piece of shit down. I'm not saying that it will. I'm saying that it could. What is in those files? I think we have a pretty good damn idea what's in those files. We know for a fact Donald Trump is, or as close to a fact as we can know without seeing those files or without Trump admitting that he's in those files. But what do those files say about him? You know, there were reportedly over 1,000 kids victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and the people involved in all of this sick business. And yet, the only person who has been prosecuted for it is Ghislaine Maxwell, who, by the way, wants to talk. She is apparently making it clear, telling people, I'm willing to come testify before Congress and tell what I know. Republicans aren't going to let that happen as long as they control Congress. But she's out there, and she wants to talk. So what's Trump going to do? Is he going to pardon her? Maybe. Or maybe she's going to get the Epstein treatment. Maybe she's going to commit suicide. Maybe there's going to be missing time on the videotapes outside her cell, just like Epstein. I don't know, but this is bad. And here's the thing, too. This is how you know it's really bad. Trump controls the federal government. He controls the DOJ and the FBI. Why doesn't he just destroy the files? Why doesn't he just say there's nothing there? And just destroy every single thing that's incriminating. Say there was a computer glitch. Whatever. Make up anything. Just fucking destroy the evidence. Why doesn't he do that? No, instead, he's panicked. He's laying the groundwork in that video. He's laying the groundwork in anticipation that this might come out. That's what's going on here. This is the second time now, started with his Truth Social post, where he's saying, you can't believe anything that's in there. Obama made those files. Biden made those files. Hillary made those files. The deep state made those files. He's afraid those files are going to come out, which tells me he knows that he's not the only one who has access to these files, that people outside of his control have access to these files. Who? Does Elon Musk have access to these files? I speculated that it's possible, as head of Doge, with access to all those computer systems, maybe him and his boys, maybe Big Balls got in there and accessed the Epstein stuff. I don't know. Who else could have it? Putin? I don't know. But it sure sounds to me like somebody has it. And you know what? Even if the files are destroyed, there's a lot of people out there who have seen those files. And maybe some of them copied them. You know, there are a lot of FBI agents who had a hand in gathering the evidence against Epstein and creating those files. A lot of prosecutors. And they weren't all Trump supporters. And they're not all stupid. And they know who Donald Trump is. And they know the kind of retribution that Donald Trump can exact against people he doesn't like, and how he can destroy people. Maybe people copied files for protection. I don't know. But there's a lot of people. We're probably talking hundreds of people from the FBI and the DOJ who would have been part of the investigations, who would have seen those files and know what's in them. So even if you get rid of those files, even if copies hadn't been made, there are witnesses out there who know what Donald Trump did, who knows what his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein was. And that's why I think this man is panicked, whether he's worried about the files coming out, or whether he's worried about witnesses coming forward, or a combination of both. I don't know. But he's obviously scared about this information coming out, which is why he's trying to get ahead of it and lay the groundwork for these files implicating him to come out. And he's trying to get people to believe in advance that these files were created by Obama and Biden and the deep state. And so don't believe it. So when you see pictures of him with underage girls, when you see all these files implicating him, he wants you to believe that that's all fake, that those images are photoshopped, that all those witness statements are false. That's what he wants you to believe. Do not let up. I don't know if this will bring him down, but there has been nothing that seems to have the potential to harm this man politically like this does. Not even January 6th came anywhere close to the damage politically he is sustaining right now with his base. I mean, they didn't care that police officers were getting beaten nearly to death. They didn't care that one of their own cult members got killed. They don't care about any of that. That didn't cause them to really even question Trump. And he pardons all those people, and he and they are heroes with the MAGA cult. But this Jeffrey Epstein stuff, no way. That ain't the same. These people are pissed, and people are beginning to ask questions. Many of them are focusing all their anger and hatred on Bondi, but some people are starting to point the finger at the obvious person, Donald Trump. And comments like this that I just played for you, even some of these diehard Trump cultists, if they're at all honest with themselves, are going to have to start to admit it's him. He's the one orchestrating this. And why would Donald Trump run the risk of creating a rift between he and his cult? Because the power over the cult, that is his superpower. That's why he has been able to get away with virtually everything. That's why he's been able to get the entire Republican Party to bend the knee to him, and companies and everything. It's because he has the power of the cult. He controls them completely. No Republican, as much as they may hate Donald Trump or hate the shit that they're forced to vote for, like this big, beautiful piece of shit bill that none of them wanted to vote for, they do it because they're scared of Trump, because he has control of the cult. That is his power. You take that away from him, and he loses his power. And suddenly people aren't afraid of him anymore. He loses the cult, there will be blood in the water, and people will go after him, will turn on him, and this man could be brought down over this. Not saying it's going to happen. And even if it does, we're probably a long way from that. But this is out of his control now. He is desperate. He is flailing. He is panicked. He is scared to death. And I bet you dollars to donuts he is guilty as sin. You know, the MAGA cult for years have been saying that this Epstein stuff, they believe Epstein was murdered. By the way, I agree with them. I don't buy the suicide crap. You know who else agrees with that? His brother. I just saw an interview with his brother. I believe his name is Mark Epstein. He was on with Don Lemon. And he said that he believes his brother was killed. We've had lots of other people. We had Michael Franzese, is a former mafia guy. He actually is a Trump supporter, but he was in the same prison as Epstein. And he says, I know those cells. What they say happened, the way they say he killed himself, that's bullshit. It's impossible. That didn't happen. He was murdered. So these cultists have been telling us for years that Jeffrey Epstein was murdered to prevent the truth from coming out, to protect all these elites who are part of this pedophile ring. And you know what? They may damn well be right. But what they didn't anticipate was that it's their cult leader, Donald Trump, who may very well be one of those elites who is involved in all of that, who is being protected by the murder of Jeffrey Epstein. And who ordered his murder, do you think? Who would have had motive? Who was president at the time? Oh yeah, that would have been Trump. We know Donald Trump doesn't mind if people die in order to protect his sorry ass. We know this for a fact. We all saw what happened on January 6th. He didn't care. And you know, we're lucky that a lot more people didn't get killed on that day. Donald Trump would have had no problem. It doesn't matter how many people might have gotten killed on January 6th. He would have had no problem. So we already know for a fact he doesn't care about people getting killed if it means protecting his own ass. So Trump was the one who was president when this guy was murdered. Are you listening, MAGA? Are any of you in the audience? Are you starting to question things now? Trump was president. Trump is on that list. Trump is in those files. Trump had motive to keep this all quiet. Now he fears it's coming out, and he's panicked. He's scared to death, and he's flailing. I hope you guys are starting to wake up. And for those of you who are already fully awake and know who and what this piece of shit is, do not let up. Keep up the pressure. Inform as many of your family and friends about what's going on. Do not assume that they know. Do not assume that they know everything you and I know. Because if they get their news from Trump-friendly sources, those sources, like Fox News, are doing their best to hide all of this stuff. Don't assume that they know. Put this information in front of them, however you can. And don't let up. He's on the ropes. So let's keep after it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am sure we're going to be talking about this a lot more. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.